is back on. Beautiful. Perfect. Time now is 9:38 p.m. This is the start of a business meeting where only the council members of the council speaks and deliberates and discusses topics. And I want to say welcome to all of you members, to the community members who stayed back, all 35 of you, well, I guess minus the council, 20-something of you. You are more than welcome to listen in as we deliberate and we discuss council business. However, we disable the chat feature because we don't want comments or feedback, because this is a space where only the council members should discuss, right? So at this point in time, we'll do a roll call really quickly. We'll ask them, I can talk more. They're going to have to do the roll call, our secretary, and then we can continue.
President Vijay Ramjatan.
I'm still here, yes.
First Vice President Barbara Williams.
I'm here hanging.
Second Vice President Ted Cheng.
Here.
Treasurer Lu Zhao.
Here.
Recording Secretary Elena Minova here. Member Natsifa Lewis.
Here.
Member Cassandra Alexander.
She might be excused still if she's not here.
Member Simon Dornbeck.
Yeah.
Member Shaliza Dean. Not here, right? Is it?
She is here. She is here. Yes, she is.
Okay. Member Rajwinder Kaur.
Here.
Not here.
Okay, that's it.
Very well. Okay, thank you so much. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 items in our agenda. So we'll stop. Let's do the minutes first. So can we please put the minutes on the screen, and let's move to adopt those. Miss C. Mongol. Dorinda, how are you doing? Sorry, we don't mean to. Tonight was a crazy night. It was a busy night, so we didn't get to say hi. Hi, Dorinda. How are you doing?
Hi, Vijay. Actually, I go second only because I have November up here. I have the wrong minutes. I'm just gonna pull it up really quickly, okay? I don't want to keep the time. It's already late.
Yes. Okay, so
BJ?
first item up for the yes.
Just about the minutes. The one thing that I just briefly looked at it, and the main thing that, and I thought we needed to discuss this as a council. The main thing that we have not really addressed is how we're gonna handle absences moving forward. Because we had talked about having everyone fill out a form, submit it to the council, and then the council votes based on the information in the form.
You can add the agenda.
Right, but
Yeah.
I mean, like, there's absences in the minutes that we need to, like, like this was
Agree
talked
upon,
about like
okay.
a couple meetings ago, and we all agreed to do that. We can't vote on the absences if we don't have the, you know what I mean? Like, so we
Yeah,
need
yeah.
to start doing it as of
Okay.
like right now, right?
Yeah, so let's put that on the Bibi, are you here? Bibi? I'm breaking up?
You were.
Oh, sorry. Bibi, are you here? Bibi, she was here. Okay. Yeah, can we just go ahead and is everyone okay with that? You can unmute, sorry. Can we make Bibi a co-host? Is everyone okay with Bibi entering the meeting to speak? Everyone not okay with that? Thank you. Okay, Bibi, can we just go ahead and add it? Do we have to take a vote to adjust amend the agenda? Or we can just agree upon that?
Objecting to myself speaking, but good evening, everyone. Oh, it's so good to see all of you. It's been a while. Yeah, if you want to add something, if you want to amend the agenda, you make a motion to amend the agenda, add whatever you want, or move your items. That's quite all right. Ted
We have
will
to
lead the charge on that.
We got to vote?
You don't need to do a roll call. You could say, all in favor, and then move on.
Okay. So I don't want to redo the whole thing, but is everyone okay with adding on discussing absences to the agenda? Is everyone not okay with that? Going once, going twice. Added. Okay. Done. So we're gonna have, so let's, since we've been putting this off over and over again, let's go to that first, the first item here. Absences. Ted, go for it.
Well, we had just discussed that, like, we've kind of just been making things up every meeting. We just come up with some rationale why someone is excused or not. And it creates an atmosphere that is very ripe for favoritism and bias and all kinds of bad stuff that I mean, and the thing is, we all have different opinions on stuff, and it's just sort of inviting the worst instincts of all of us. And I really don't want to treat anybody differently, no matter how they feel about any issue. I don't want to be invited to treat someone differently because it might have some impact on the council. I think that we should have a form that everyone should fill the form out when they have an absence. And then it makes it very obvious how you vote on the absences, because the form tells you how to vote, because it's based on state law and chancellor's regulations. So
you're suggesting, didn't you make a form?
I
already?
did make a form, yeah. So we
Remember you
just need
sent
to,
the
we
form
just
out.
need to have everyone fill the form out when there's an absence that we have to vote on.
Okay, Latifah, I saw your hands up. Can you share this? Do you have the form handy, Ted, to share on the screen?
Yeah, let me see if I can pull it up.
Okay, Latifah, in the meantime, you wanna go ahead? And yeah,
Yeah,
technically,
just-
council members, if you want to speak, just please raise your hand and we'll definitely call on you like that way. And let's keep it down to a minimum so we can make sure we move the
Okay.
meeting along.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying that, Ted presented it. He did work on the form. So our agreement, we did at the last meeting agree to start using it going forward. So basically for this meeting, we should be starting to discuss the absence before deciding whether um they're what's it, excuse or an unexcused,
Mhm.
rather than putting it like that.
So for
So-
example, council member Alexander just texted me today, this
Right.
evening, right before the meeting, and say that there's a situation where she can't leave to come to the meeting, for example. No, she didn't fill out a form, but she did let me know. So then would she have to fill out a form regardless at the end?
Right.
Submit that
We-
still, and then the next meeting.
Yes,
we
because you have to
vote
do that.
that.
And then, so I think I agree with Ted in that, we probably should table this minutes until we also, because we have absences on this set of minutes that we should probably discuss before we accept the minutes as is or not.
I am okay with that. Also, tabling the minutes till we figure out, get the absences filled out, etc. Barbara Williams. Is Barbara a co-host? She can unmute, right?
I can't.
She's not. Dorinda, can you make her co-host?
Okay, I can
Okay,
now.
there we go
Thank
now.
you, VJ.
Yeah.
So for future reference, I know we're gonna be using the form, but
Mhm.
like Cassandra texted you today, you know the proper procedure. She should have sent an email to both you and Dorinda.
Correct. Correct.
CC Ted and I on it if she don't want to. She don't have to CC Ted and I. But the proper procedure for now before using the form is to send an email to you,
Correct.
and so Dorinda have a copy of it also. So this way she knows what's going on. If she
Mhm.
send it to you alone, we don't know what she said.
Mhm.
So we don't know if you're covering up for her or what you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no,
So
for sure.
you should have then directed her, like I did with Elena the other day when she put it in the chat. I asked her to then send an email which is official, so at least
Mhm.
it's on file. So we, in case if question comes up, I could say yes, she did send an email out.
For sure.
Okay.
Yeah,
Take your camera, take your mic, take your camera off, VJ. You're cracking up.
How is that? Better?
Better.
Oh, better. Okay.
Much better, much better.
Yeah, the text came in at 6:22 p.m. and from what she was saying is she's gonna it could be a slight chance she could be there late, like come to the meeting late, So she was gonna be here, but I guess it's a unique situation where I will respond and let her know now to go ahead and fill that form that we have here. And if we all agree this form is good, then we'll just forward that to her. So she fills that out.
And if she don't have time to fill the form until she have time, the same way she sent you a text, sent an email, including our AA. So she has it on file.
I agree. Sure, definitely. Ted, go ahead.
No, I just shared my screen with the form, and you know, it's even, you can even just fill it out. It's a PDF that you can just fill out. So it made it super easy
Nice.
for people. They could just email it. And it's like, whether they emailed before or they didn't, or they called you, whatever, you just fill out the form, whichever your answer is, that gives us the information the council needs to vote.
Okay. I mean, this looks very straightforward and very clear, and the PDF, the whole nine, that's amazing. So can get better than that. So I feel so weird not having my camera on. I'm sorry. I'm gonna try again. Let me take off this whole blur thing. Virtual settings. I go there. No, okay. Okay, yeah. So I think none. Let's do none. How is that? Okay, let's try that. Apply. Okay. Can you stop sharing, Ted? Please. Thank you. So everyone saw that, right? That was sent out before. It was in the circulated via email. So everyone, is everyone okay with this form? Anyone not agree? We had agreed on this before already, so we should be okay. But just asking you again. Going once, going twice, gone. So all council members, this is the form you filled out to send in any absences. If you couldn't send absences before the meeting, then fill it out after, send it in to myself, Dorinda, CC Ted as a Barbara as the first vice president, and Ted as the second vice president. So at least more than one of us was aware of what's happening. If you can, right? Just let us know. Thank you so much. Next topic is discussed, collaborated. So then, Dorinda, that the minutes for the last meeting will be adjourned until we figure out this plan over here with these absences, right, Dorinda? Let's talk
Thank
about
you.
those absences. That's in question, and let's send that form to the members who we need to have fill those out so they can submit it to us. Is that what that's the next step? So yeah, perfect. So we'll send that form to them. Good. Discuss collaborated community outreach town hall. This was Miss Dean, Shaliza Dean, and somebody else, I think it was, who had brought this up. But Shaliza? Okay, anyone else have anything to add on this topic? I'm not sure, Miss Dean.
I can't talk.
Okay, she can't talk. So this is something she had talked about. So if she can't talk right now, we can table this for next month. Is that fair? Going once, going twice.
Yes.
Thank you. Okay. Discuss vacated seat, council member seat. So as we all know, one of our council members resigned from her seat, and we know we have a vacant seat. Natif, I got a question for you. I know you were very active when you were acting AA in the last round when Simone came on board. Is that fair? That's true? That's right. And so then you're very familiar with this process, right? And would you mind helping out in this process?
I mean, sure. Didn't you send because she resigned, so we didn't have to go through
Right.
whatever
Correct.
process, right? So we just had to write a resolution to have a new Dorinda, I believe I sent you that draft of what I had sent out the last time. If not, I can resend it. So we had to write a resolution and present it to have a new members. I mean, I could go look back over in that thing. Yeah.
BB, you want to chime in then, Barbara?
Not sure. What's the question?
So also a vacated seat now that we have in our council, right? So do we have to go and do a resolution, or we can just, is this like, can you just give us a quick?
So you did not vacate the seat because the council member resigned. So you have a vacant seat on the
Right.
council.
Okay,
And so in order to fill a vacant seat on the council, you will publish the application on your website, circulate with the community, and anyone can apply to fill the seat. Once the application comes to face, we will vet eligibility and we will send the community member or candidate or applicant's public profile to you.
Mhm.
If there are more than one, you can certainly choose and interview who you would like. And if you decide to seat that person, then you will vote. 6 votes will seat the person on the council to serve.
Did we have to create a committee like to review the applicants? I think we did that last time. No, does that make sense? Well, once you submit like say 15.
So the
So for the
applications
AA,
don't
Do we
come
have
to
to?
you. The
They go
applications do not come to you as a council.
So it's the same process like how we got it. It goes to you, and then you all sift through them.
Then we
And then you
vet the
present them to us.
application.
Got it.
Correct. We vet the application for eligibility. Those who are eligible, their public profile is pulled out from the application, and I will send that to you, not
Okay.
the personal information.
Got it.
Confidential information is not shared.
Okay.
Once you have the public profile, you can determine who you would like to interview and move the process. Then you can conduct your interview of the candidates, and 6 votes will seat the candidate. Once the
That
candidate
was a
is seated,
public. Sorry, that was a public interview. I remember Simone was a.
That's right.
Public. It was a
That's
public
right.
interview. Mhm.
That's correct. You do your interviews publicly so the community can hear and see.
Perfect. Okay.
Mhm.
Thank you, Dorinda. I know you have the recording to review this and get the process. It will be in the minutes too, because you'll be writing them. So there you go. So if Dorinda, if you don't mind, but Barbara, I see your hand, right? Dorinda, if you don't mind, getting the application from Face and post it up. And I'm sure Simone is very well aware of this process because she just went through it. So Simone, I know you're volunteering to be a helper also. I see your hands up. Barbara, go ahead.
I don't know. I think Dorinda keep kicking me out, or Elena keep kicking me out of the meeting. So every time I come back, I can't unmute. What's going on? It's like the 1,500 times I get kicked out tonight. Anyways, that's not why I put my hands up. Just picking. Yeah. So BB answered what I was putting my hand. We don't need a resolution to fill a vacancy, and we have to remember that we have D28 President's Council whom we go to for help to fill that position. So we should reach out to D28 President's Council. As in the past, they're there to help us. And remember, they have all the PTA presidents in District 28. So we should reach out to them for help in filling those positions. So don't want to, say again what BB said, but that was a part of what she missed out.
Thank you. Dorinda noted, right?
So sorry,
This is helpful.
Barbara, there are 2 of you here on Zoom. Is there a reason maybe they're kicking each other out? Do you know why?
I don't think they're kicking each other out. When I go on my phone,
Okay,
I
but
don't know
there's
what
2 of you,
happened.
just so you know, and I don't know if there's a conflict.
Yeah, I know there's 2. I went on both because I don't know what's going on. When one is off, then I could use, reflect on
Both
the
are
other.
co-hosts,
But
not a-
yeah, but no, I'm good. I know there's 2. Thank you, Mama.
Thank you. Simone Dornbach.
I just have a quick question. Aren't there other seats also vacant, like the high school
Yes,
and District 75? Do we have a vacant District 75 seat?
There's
Or is
no
that just-
35 seats, an L seat. There's a L representative, and I think one of our.
okay.
Yeah,
all
one
right.
of our council members fills that seat already. It's just only right now, it's only that one seat that we are
Oh,
talking
okay.
about.
Okay, all right. That's
Okay,
it.
then, so Barbara, you have 2 hands up and 2, okay, there it is. Okay, BB.
No, I was just going to say, Barbara is absolutely correct. When councils have, typically when a CEC council has vacancy, they should ask the president's council. It's for recommendations, right? So sometimes president's council, as Barbara said, engage their PTAs, right? And so
Okay.
they connect to a larger community when it comes to school level leadership, folks who may want to step in and step up and serve on a different platform. So President's Council usually would give recommendations for that council. So it's not sort of like, okay, we want you to tell us what the process is, but more like, hey, do you have anyone you'd like to recommend that we can send the application to, or you have in mind? Or here are the list of candidates that we've received public profiles on. What do you think?
Understood.
Good partnership, yeah.
Understood. Thank you. During that, we'll talk. Yeah. And Latifa, as you agreed, if we need help, we'll definitely ask you about the process, just in case, if there's anything. But I think it seems pretty straightforward in terms of what needs to be done in terms of at this point, at least. Thank you, BB. Thank you, Latifa, for agreeing.
Yeah, sorry. Initially, you said that, and I thought of the AA process. That's where the resolution part came in from.
I know exactly what you thought. I know exactly why you said that. Trust me. We went through this together. Trust me. Okay, so now we know what the process is. Good. Next step is discuss town hall for special education students. Again, I think that was, I believe that was Miss Dean. Oh, that was you, Simone. Go for it.
Yeah, so and just Natifa said that there was already something similar that I wasn't aware of this. But my idea was to have a town hall where we invite different experts on special education, so that parents can learn better the different steps that are there. My idea was to have advocacy organizations so that they help parents advocate for their child, to have someone from the DOE to explain the process, how like evaluations work, to have someone from mediation to tell parents what they can do if they're not happy about an evaluation, when they want to fight the result, that they can go through a mediation process. And I just feel that there is so much, there's a big need to be better informed. A lot of families don't really know what the steps are. They don't know what their rights are, what they are entitled to do, the services that are available. So I just, that's the idea behind, to
Thank
have,
you.
yeah. And then,
Can we do this so my question will be to you is, can we do this where we invite them as one of the only presenters at our calendar meeting, and then they just get all the time, literally they get as the only presenters to present on this, or you want to
you're breaking up.
Okay, sorry, that's
I think that's something that it's really not up
Can you hear
to
me now? Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay, so I was asking is, do you prefer to, I was suggesting and asking your decision, because since you had an idea, would it be okay to do this in one of our calendar meetings where we have they be the only, like this team, this group, this topic be the main focus of that meeting, and then we have a team to present on that? Or do you want to have a separate standalone event on like a town hall type of thing, multiple presenters come and present on this topic? What were your thoughts on that?
Originally, my thought was to have an independent event.
Fair.
But I can see also the advantages of having it part of the calendar meeting, because that's when lots of parents are attending. So that we might be able to reach more families that way. But this is something, because it involves planning and preparation, and also time commitment. So this is something that I don't want to decide. I would want to really ask the council how everyone is feeling about this.
Okay, so this is on topics, and we'll give everyone like 1 minute if they want to have a comment on this specific topic. Latifa Lewis?
So if we're gonna do one, I think having the separate makes sense. We have to be careful about putting too many of our calendar meetings on that one topic, because we do have some, time constraint things that are upon us. And I do suggest, even if we have our own, that, maybe Simone, since you're looking to work with this, that you do engage with D29 and see some of the things that they're doing, maybe collaborate with some of their experts, whatever it is, because they have a program that's running for 6 months, I think. So they're
Okay.
doing multiple workshops. They're getting the people to come in and actually do the individualized part, which is is becoming like a bit better than just okay, that's nice. This is what I do, and then when you're in the case, it whatever you learned didn't really apply individually to you. So
Okay.
we want to make sure
Thank
that
you.
it's effective, not just.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else have any comments about this specific item? Okay, so Simone, you have something to think about, right? And definitely, not because you brought the idea means it's on you alone. Just understand that, please, this is your idea, but we want to help you realize your vision, right? And our council member has shown that is definitely work with you to help you do this. But definitely, if you're passionate about this, definitely want you to shine, and do this like from your perspective, what you see about it. Think about it. Send us an email. Let us put very clearly education town hall. So that really please, council members, one thread, please, for this one topic. So wherever we land with it, we know, okay, this is what's going to happen. It may be difficult to plan in January only because it's a holiday time to go for January. But maybe when we come back from the vacation, whatever it is, I'm not saying it can't, right? I'm just saying it may be a little difficult to do for February. So we have the whole month of January to plan, like right after our February town hall, we host that there. So we can announce it at our February calendar meeting. Think about it. But it don't have to be that long though. It could be in January. It's FYI, okay? Either way, let us know. Barbara?
Yeah, I'm thinking after the PEP. We don't want to take away from what's going on. We want to have people still focus on Success Academy. So I think late January, February would be good.
Yeah. And then also too, like for our next, thank you. So Simone, do we finish? Is that okay with that topic? Okay. And before we move on to our next restorative justice topic, which is you also, Simone, we should think about also for our January meeting, right? If we want to make that a very short kind of succinct meeting, or really discuss if we want to move that meeting 1 week further, our meeting, if that meeting is not moved, then really push our meeting 1 week up, because we don't want to deprive ourselves or our community members from that meeting, the PEP meeting in person. So I'm not sure what the council members are thinking about that. Thoughts, ideas, hands up in the air, hands up to speak about that. Latifa? Simone?
I am in agreement to move the meeting if the PEP is going to remain on that time, because I think it's important that as the council for the affected district, we are at that meeting.
Because then now we're talking about January 12th. This FYI, in case anyone is thinking about which Thursday will be the following Thursday. Simone?
I think we should push it forward. And I think if we as the council, we should collectively make an effort to all show up at the PEP meeting and to testify and share what we heard from our community, just to give a little bit more, to amplify their voices.
Yes, I am trying my best. I'm making myself more and this go like literally this be there. So okay, so Bibi, again, this wasn't on the agenda, but do we have to make this an agenda item and then go ahead and vote on that, or we can just vote to move the meeting now? Thank you, Bibi, for always being willing to tell us.
Rajwinda has her hands up, VJ.
She did? I thought she was giving a thumbs up.
No, yeah, it was thumbs up. I agree with
Oh, I
Simone.
thought it was my apologies.
No worries. Thanks, Barbara. Barbara always got me. Thank you, Barbara.
Barbara
Bibi?
just puts everybody in front of me.
Go ahead, Bibi.
No, I'm just
Always,
kidding.
Bibi.
But
Always.
that's with love. It's only with love. Hi, Barb. So I think I heard you correctly when you said you'd like to move your meeting, your January meeting, in order to accommodate the community and for your council to be present at the PEP,
That is correct.
where the proposals are on the docket, correct?
That is correct.
So in that case, you would have to make a motion here at your public meeting to move your calendar meeting, because I think you've already published those meeting dates. Am I correct?
That is correct.
So you'd have to make a motion to move your meeting.
I make a motion to move our January 2023 calendar meeting from January 5th to January 12th to accommodate the PEP meeting that's coming up.
Second.
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 Third, fourth. Okay, so let's do a roll call. Elena. I know your name, you know.
President Vijay Ramjatu,
In favor, yes, to the 12th.
First Vice President Barbara Williams,
Yes.
Second Vice President, Ted Chang.
Yes.
Treasurer,
Yes.
Lou Zhao.
Yes.
Myself, Recording Secretary, Elena Minova, yes. Member Nasifa Lewis.
Yes.
Member Shirley Zadine, not here. Member Rajvinder Kaur.
Yes.
Member Cassandra Alexander.
Not present.
Oh.
I'm not gonna say excuse anymore. I'm saying not present. See how are we learning quickly?
And I'm here. Shalisa was here too.
Oh, Shirley's is here, okay.
Shalisa is here,
Shirley
yeah.
Zadine.
And she,
Yes.
I want to go to your party, Shaliza.
and I'm yes too.
Very well. So unanimously, go ahead. Finish, Miss Aminova. Go ahead. See what you're gonna say. She froze. So okay, we voted. So we agreed. Okay, so so everyone on.
Yes, we got them all.
Thank you. Moving the meeting to January 12th, 2023 for our first year calendar meeting. Thank you, Bibi. Bibi, hands are raised. Go ahead, Bibi.
I was just gonna make a joke, but so that it could lighten up the mood. I
Yes.
actually I gave you the motion without giving you the motion. And that's
You
what
did.
did everybody
you know
else
what?
catch that?
It was, yes, you did. And it was so much like, you know, I'm not going to say how to say it. I'm not going to even try. I'm just going to abbreviate and let's move on. That's it. Thank you, Bibi. Okay, next topic on the agenda. We're doing good with time, folks. We're going through this thing really well. Discuss restorative justice. Simone Dornbach.
Okay, so that would also be a town hall. And the idea is, so I need to, I am a conflict resolution practitioner, and restorative justice is something that is really dear to me. Many schools are using restorative justice, and I found out that a lot of parents don't know what it is.
True.
And there is a lot of confusion, especially because restorative justice comes up many times when there are discussions about the school safety agents. And so a lot of parents feel that restorative justice is something that is replacing school safety agents, and therefore they are against restorative justice. I feel it would be really, really good for our district to provide information on restorative justice, because it is a tool that can be used to resolve conflict, just like peer mediation. So for example, peace circles, that is something that falls under restorative justice practices, peer mediation, conflict coaching. But restorative justice is also more than that. It's like a philosophy to build community. And that is also something that is used in schools to build community for the school, so that students are feeling welcomed and included and accepted, to prevent conflict. It is like part of social emotional learning. And so my suggestion was to invite experts. And we have a few schools in our district that are already offering restorative justice. So I thought maybe we can tap into those to share with us what they are doing. We have like a DOE restorative justice coordinator for Queens. Maybe we could invite that person, or just practitioners from the city, so that parents can ask questions and get a better understanding of what it is.
Great idea. I think it's long past due for this council to host this subject. I think it was brought up a long time ago by various council members, but we never got to it. So definitely, but I think we have to think carefully about timing, right? We don't want to overburden the community with back to back. So I feel like let's think about so in terms of priority, which one would you want to work on first? Special education students or restorative justice?
To me, it really doesn't matter. It's
so can you decide? Okay, so if you decide from tonight, think about it, right? Which one you think would be? I honestly, I think the special education students might be better to host first, only because I feel like it could have a direct, immediate impact in a child's life right now. If a parent knows something or doesn't know something, so maybe that would be the best one to start off with, only because it have a direct, immediate effect, and then do the restorative justice. Like after that, then we say, let's bring it on. So Dorinda will have to remember. Once we have that, then you tell us, Simone, hey, can we add now back restorative justice to the agenda to discuss when we're gonna have that? Is that fair? Is that okay? I think you're saying yes, but you're muted.
Yes, that's okay.
Barbara Williams, thank you.
Not swaying away from what Simone was saying, but something just popped in my head, and I want to say it. With the notification sending out for vacant seat, you should also let people know the timeline that it's only from now till June. That our term is up in June, and that's when the new voting starts. So you need to let we need to get on that ASAP and let the community know the timeline.
For sure. For sure. Thank you so much. And when you do send when we get this email, we send out the draft to the whole council so they can say, hey, did we miss anything? How is it worded correctly? And then we can send it out to the community, etc. Was I breaking up again?
Sorry,
breaking
yeah, I
up
did not
again?
hear what you said,
I'm
BJ.
so
I'm sorry.
sorry. I don't know what's happening with this Wi-Fi. Yeah, I was saying once we're to send an email out to the public, which is very soon, it could be like next week. So let's send a draft to the council members to review, so that way everyone could be okay. Yes, this looks good. It sounds proper. Then we send it out to President's Council and to the community, etc., etc. Or when we post it to our website, also. Okay, our last item, which was adopt council minutes meeting minutes, we postponed that till we adjourned that, we tabled that till next month because we have to work on a few absences that we have to work on. Dorinda, you should have the list of people who need to submit those forms in terms of absences that we need to figure out. And then we can send those forms to those various council members to get clearance for that. And then that covers that. Okay. I think we have reached a part in the meeting here where we want to call it 10:15 p.m. We did well, had a long night. I am okay with saying we could adjourn this meeting now at 10:15 p.m. unless other council members have anything to say. I would like to call on you to have any 1 minute each and or to bring it up. So Natisha, beat you to it, Simone. So, and then please go for it.
I just want us to remember, just as January 5th is the PEP meeting, December 19th is the joint public hearing, and I believe there's a process to provide when you sign up for it to also provide information. I think there's a cutoff point. So please, it is the weekend with the holidays, and I think that is also something that should be brought out to them. It's the first day of Hanukkah. It's the last week of school. It's all of those things. So
Mm.
please, don't just go straight off into the holidays. We still have work to do.
You come back from your holiday. How about that? I'm joking.
I'm working. I have a funeral in the morning. I'm here working. So
My condolences. My condolences. Says the one who's on vacation. I'm joking. No. It's my condolences to you, Simone.
Just wanted to say, I don't know if you know about it, but a lot here, like Elena has been interviewed. School Cutters is going to have a public event on the 15th of December in 2 weeks at 6:30, I believe. I'm going to put it into the chat. And here in Queens at the library, I believe in Jamaica. And I thought it would be nice if we can see each other in person. That would be a nice event to go to together. For those of you who are available, would be nice to see you again.
Sounds good. Can you please send the details out to all of us so we can have it in our chat or anything? Thank you so much. I also sent, since that was happening really quickly, right there with the guys up window. This Saturday, UFT is hosting a breakfast in the morning from 9:30 to 11 o'clock. And I sent out that email to all of you to respond if you want to go. It's an in-person breakfast. I saw Unity from Barbara on the email, but I know you can't make there. But if other members could go, please feel free to go ahead and respond to that RSVP to DLC and attend if you can at UFT headquarters in Queens Our AA, she never has her hands up. Oh, wow, let's take a picture of this. She never asks us. Wow, go ahead, Dorinda.
Hi, guys. I just wanted to make sure that the council members saw the email I resurfaced today about capital planning. I had shared it before, but I resurfaced today. I just want to make sure you saw that so you guys can discuss amongst yourselves. BB and I connected regarding that, and we're gonna meet tomorrow. She's gonna give me some guidance on the next steps.
Sounds good. If you all didn't see that, I guess that's your reminder to check your mailbox. On that, and that's that. Okay. So, any other members have any comments, questions, concerns? Going once.
Yeah, Vijay, you didn't.
Yes.
You didn't explain what the UFT breakfast was for. You just said it was a UFT breakfast. You have
Yeah, I
to
sent
let
the email out, so I figure people are gonna read.
Not everybody reads.
I don't want to do
So-
the job for them. Sorry. Like, if you go for it, Barbara.
Well, some of our council
I
members,
know.
you have to hold their hands to cross the street. They can't cross by themselves. So you have to explain that it is in conjunction with the discussion for the co-location of Success Academy is the reason why they're having that breakfast. So council members can know why they're going to drink coffee. Thank you.
BB, go ahead.
I just want to thank you for recognizing VJ. Are you going to be inviting a school construction authority to discuss the 5-year capital plan in November proposals for your January meeting?
Yes, we will. Well, I haven't seen the email as yet. So they don't they give us like a few dates or like a timeline before to have them?
So they would have to present at a public meeting,
Right.
and that would have been the December or January meeting,
Mhm.
because then you would need to submit your priorities by, typically it's by February 15th,
Mhm.
sometime around that.
So I haven't
timeline?
seen the email. I didn't get a chance to look at the emails, but I'm definitely if it's this month or next month, then most likely for sure it'll have to be January for for them to come and present, and then we'll have to send out our notes to all the principals, etc. Get it back in time and then vote.
Yeah, I think,
Can we send it out before? Can we send
Yeah.
out the request to the principals like now, and then we
Yeah,
can
so
do
yeah.
that on our January meeting?
so absolutely. I mean, that is why I will be meeting with Dorinda, but you can follow the same format, right? Send an email out to all the principals and then have them hyperlink to a form, have them complete the form, put their top 2 or 3 requests for capital improvement. And then once they fill the form, it generates the Excel spreadsheet, and you all can go through it and then prioritize that way
At the
in
January
preparation
meeting,
for your meeting. Yeah.
right? And that way we meet in
And then you can have a
January. You guys do there.
Yep, and after the SCA presents to the community, you can set up a special meeting and go through the list that the principal have submitted, and then
Mhm.
pick from that to complete your form.
Got it, Latifa.
Yeah.
Thanks, BB.
I mean, I did address this before, and I know BB, you said this time it might be February. Last year, the deadline to submit was January 12th. And which is why I was not completely in favor of moving this meeting to today, because we have not had SCA, neither C4E come present. And I think, like, in both cases, all the information related to that comes out around now. And
C4E?
I did, yeah, what is it? Something for excellence, or
You think
Contract for excellence.
contracts for excellence. And I know, I know I'd also send a message asking council members to start doing their school visits. And I know a couple
Mhm.
people have, but not everyone has. And especially with all of these co-locations and everything's popping up, it's an important time to do it. And again, I did urge against us having to have a special meeting, which it would have been if we presented now, so we could use our regular January meeting, because then we end up being very conflicted, and for those of us who are in multiple forums, it becomes a huge hardship. So just be mindful of waiting. And they did send, as far as SCA goes, Dorinda did forward an email with those November proposals or whatever you call it. And in it said that we're supposed to reach out to them to to do the date. We're not supposed to sit and wait for them. That was the communication I was having with you before, Vijay. So we need to reach out to them, and then now we just voted to move our meeting, so to have them with us on the 12th and make sure that that is not too late.
Mhm. Okay. Thank you, Latifa. Ted?
I just wanted to ask that when we email the principals and ask them for their capital projects, that whatever the deadline is, that we actually get to see the whole spreadsheet before
Of
our meeting,
course.
where we like, I just don't want the same thing to happen that happened last year, where we like showed up in the meeting and it was like, the deadline's passed, we can't, and there's only like 5 projects here, like
Mhm.
if we see the list by email, then we can like be like, oh my gosh, there's only 5 projects on this list, we need to follow up, and then we can do something about it. I felt like last time it was just, there was no time to do anything about it. And then, so that's one thing.
Sorry,
And
Ted,
then,
really quickly. Can we create a shared drive, a shared thing where they go in and they put their stuff in there, so it's a live document. All council members have access to that, and then that way anyone can see it at any time. That's how we could do it.
yeah, great idea.
Okay.
So we could just, we could just all look at it in real time.
Yeah.
And then my follow-up question also related, Nathifa mentioned the school visits, and I just want to mention SLTs, like, are we having a coordinated CEC, Dorinda AA sending out emails on this stuff? Or because, I'm pretty sure
Yes.
most of us have not gotten contacted. I haven't, even SLTs that I used to attend, I'm not getting contacted on anymore. So
So the same process as before. Send them an email. I would like to visit that school. They will email the principal, etc. Let them know, hey, we want to just go to that school. That's what you're asking about, or just SLT meetings?
well, both, because like, I
At
guess
school
like,
visits or SLTs
so
or both?
both.
Okay.
Like, I mean, is there a, a periodic communication going out to the schools, reminding them that they need to invite us to SLT meetings? Because, and we brought this up with Dr. Pate during the whichever
It was
C
earlier
it
on.
is,
Yeah.
that,
We did.
but there was really no follow-up from that. And so do we need to like be continuing to email the
Yeah.
principals and remind them that they're not, if
Mhm.
they're not inviting us to SLT meetings, they need to be inviting us to the SLT meetings,
For sure.
and at the same time remind them about the school visits as well.
Sure. So I guess for the visits, for sure, for the SLT meetings, Dorinda, if you could just please send an email to all principals, hey, and there's and ask Dr. Pate also to chime in too, to like really have her let them know that that's what we really expect. Send it out to them. Unless maybe it's a generic thing as a new year thing, like, hey, this is your CC liaison, just so you know, they should be notified of your meetings. Here's the email address, kind of thing. That'd be great to do. We could talk about the process of how to do that, Dorinda, sometime soon. And then for the school visits, it's the same process as email Dorinda, and then she will email the schools principals to say, hey, your liaison would like to visit the school, do a walkthrough, etc. And then she'll coordinate a time and date for you with them to do so. Fair enough? Okay. And again, please remind here or even before here, if you're not getting a communication from your principal, please let us know. Like, send us another, say, haven't heard anything yet, what's going on, so we can just really specifically target, hey, what's going on, we want to make sure this is happening. All right, Simone?
Two things. One is that I through Dorinda, I have reached out to my 3 schools, and I was only able to go to 1 school tour and attend 1 SLT. The other one, I believe, doesn't have an SLT and doesn't have a PTA, and the third one never. There's no communication, so I don't know what's really going on. But I don't know. Maybe we can do that in a maybe
Yeah,
I
separate email.
Yeah.
Email her separately and say, my school is not responding, can you help me figure out what's going on? And then she could work with Sonia and Dr. Pate, etc., to figure it out.
Okay, another question. Since Nancy left, what's happening with her schools? there's some self-interest because one of her schools was mine. My school does not have a parent coordinator. And so right now we don't have really any way to bring things up to the attention of the CEC or the superintendent. Can anybody take on Nancy's schools? I'm willing to take on some of her schools interim until we have someone new. But one of those schools is my kid's school, so I can't be the liaison. But I would be very happy if someone would be willing to be an interim liaison for our school.
Let's do an email. Okay, let's do a follow-up email, right? And that way you don't feel pressured here to not do that. So let's do an email separately on the side, and then we could say, hey, here are 3 schools that it was, and during you can send that email out, yeah? That needs liaisons for that school. Who's willing to do this? And that way we could have that taken care of. Latifa?
So I no, except for like Simone, and now in the case that Nancy left, I don't believe any of us have really changed liaisons from last year. So I know Sonia had sent out the initial communication, connecting us with our principals and so forth. And from that time, at least in the case of my schools, I've been able to communicate directly with them. And what I found had worked for when it was setting up school visits was to um, you know talk with the principal, like get a couple things or whatnot, and then we actually and then I send the email to Dorinda and the principal, and she had responded. I mean, so but to me, I mean, it comes in the relationship. If you haven't made connection, you need that. But once you had it, it became less work on Dorinda to be like doing the back and forth, trying to find these things out. And most
Sure.
of my principals, I do have to follow up with one that I haven't received for this year, but once I went to like the first SLT, like I went to an SLT earlier today for one of my schools. So they just added it into the list. I've been getting even the same like 72 documentations and so forth from those SLTs because they just have me on there as one of the persons, not okay, like not one of the speaking members unless called upon, but I'm part of that list so I can attend once available. And I'm just saying, like, I just feel and like urge us. Okay, it is December. It is our second year. We're winding down our term, so we need to stop acting as if we just started because we're doing the same things that we did last year. Last year was learning. This year is for excelling.
PB?
So I just wanted to commend District 28's CEC. One, I love this meeting, right? Because this is a working meeting. And as a collective, you have so much to talk about, especially when I hear 2 things that are flags for me. One, you don't have an SLT in a specific school. That's an issue, right? This is great. The community needs to hear, as elected officials, the way you discuss, deliberate, and make decisions on a platform to uphold the structures, right? That's an issue. You don't have an SLT. Without a functioning SLT at the school, how are the decisions being made, right? 2, you don't have a parent coordinator. In the law, you should be consulting with your CEC in the hiring of the parent coordinator, right? 3, you don't know when your school has an SLT, which is subject to open meetings law. It's a public meeting. So that means the school is not messaging to the community. Is that correct? Or it's not posted on the website where the community sees it. So these are all flags. And as a working CEC that hosts like almost over 200 folks tonight on a platform, you do an amazing job. So I love to hear this robust conversations about keeping advocacy alive, uplifting the voices of parents, and make sure all structures are upheld. So I'd like to offer a couple of recommendations. One, you should look at the school's website and see if the SLT meetings are posted. Or we could have one general list of all the SLTs for schools. Or we could reach out to the district office and ask for that. Or we can send an email that talks about CEC should be doing school visits, walk through, whether you want to do virtual or in person. Make the necessary arrangements and coordination to do this. Make sure that you're vaccinated in order to be in the school to do an in-person visit. But now that you have to do these visits so that you can talk about those 4-year, 5-year capital plan improvements, right? It's important. Now is the time you should be doing them. When you're in the school, you should be collaborating with the PAPTA and the SLT to tell them you're doing a school walkthrough. Because they are boots on the ground. They know the school better than you. They know the needs of the school. They should be able to tell you if there's a leak when it rains because you're not there. So if there's anything that I could do to support the administrative assistant and any of you to make sure these things are happening, please don't hesitate to reach out.
Thank you, baby.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you. And we are the best. Anyways, Barbara, go ahead.
Yeah, VJ. So like Bibi said, red flags if I hear that there's a school. I know Sonia is on top of it. She sent us a list of all schools SLT. And if there was a school that didn't have a SLT, didn't have a PA slash PTA, someone should have reached out to Sonia and let her know that there was no PTA, so there's not an active SLT in this school. I know sometimes Dorinda send out emails to schools and they don't get back to her on time. I know I keep in touch with Dorinda and I send my own emails to my schools to try to help myself and help my school. So I'm just encouraging her that we can do that also. And if there's a problem with one of your schools, we all know that Sonia is reachable and open, and we can reach out to her and she would help us where help is needed, because that's her job and that's what she's there for. Like I did my walkthrough with 358, who was very accommodated to me, but still have not heard back from the rest of my liaison schools that Dorinda have sent out numerous emails to. So now I start calling the school myself, because sometimes we have to, push ourselves, or else it's not going to be happening, because there's a lot going on now that there's a lot of school change, don't have parent coordinators, and there's no secretary to work with the principals, and the principals are overwhelmed and they're not doing it because they think it's not vital. I've been in schools that don't know what CEC is. So, we have to, buckle down. And like Nativa said, don't, especially for the ones of us that was there before, don't act like we just started and we don't know what we're doing. We can push forward and help ourselves. Reach out to Sonia, reach out to our principals, keep calling Dorinda and until she's tired of you. And I do that every day. I call Dorinda every day, because if she send out an email and she CC'd me on it and I don't see a respond by 2 days, I'm gonna call. So, we can do that to help ourselves, because it is not good when we're not going to the SLT meeting and we are finding out in December that there's a school that doesn't have PA, PTA and no SLTs.
Thank you, Barbara. Ted?
Can we, create like a Google form and email it to all the schools and ask them for the, because SLT is usually like on the same day of the month, like kind of the way that we have our CC meetings on the first Thursday of the month. Most schools have their SLT like on a specific, Tuesday of the second Tuesday or the third Wednesday or whatever, things like that. Can we have a Google form go out to all the schools where we find out the date of their meeting? I mean, I just think that's such a basic thing that we don't even know for half the schools. So we don't even know which meeting we're missing, because we don't even know the date of the meeting, which is just, I mean, it's an embarrassing state of affairs, this late in the game, that like they're just completely ignoring their CEC. And like, let's get a list together and just, keep sending that list around and saying, like, here are the schools that we still do not even know your SLT date. please give it to us, and just keep on them until they give it to us. And then when we have once we have the date, they're much more likely to invite us at that point,
Sure. I think we should post it on our website, literally, so that the public can know too. Why not? If it's an open meeting thing, we could, and that'll be one place that we all can go to and say, which meeting's happening tomorrow? Okay, let's go see. Like if we wanted to see the meeting, what's happening tonight? Boom, there it is. Latifa.
Just following up on that whole SLT being public thing, and I know we have received communication from the community for members who were trying to attend SLTs or so forth and were being denied the information. So I think one, yes, we should know when our liaison schools have their meetings, but not just knowing for ourselves, they also need to have them up on their site. Like even on my personal school, I remember when I went on, I reached out to my principal and told them, hey, this needs to be on the
Organized.
website. Not everyone always wants to put the link, especially, as you had things like Zoom bombing and so forth initially, but it should be accessible and a means of contact to get that information. So if they do not have it on their website, they need to have it. And it's not only for us as CEC members. Yes, we are a primary, we have to get it, but also any community member, any parent, even if they're not a member of that school, are allowed to go to these meetings. They're also even allowed to go to PTA. Also, there's less rigor with it, but especially for the SLT meetings, they are governed under the same laws as CEC. Additionally, it's not for them to reach out to us. That is part of what we signed up for. We have to reach out to them. We have to follow up. Um, go pop into the school. Hey, I've been trying to, to connect. I want to, know what's going on or something like that. I mean, think of it in a sense. Yes, we signed up for an unpaid job. It's not a full-time job, whatever it is, but we have responsibilities and we have to
Okay.
take some, we got to pull up our big girl and big boy drawers and do what we got to do sometimes, because there's too much that's going on in the district, that we are a year and a half into our term, and there's things like I just literally don't know um, who my thing is or whatnot. There were some new principals, and so yes, there was sometimes some retraining because with a change in administration, new principals, new parent coordinators, lack of parent coordinators, things change. The person who was sending out the information may have fallen off. Reach out to the school. There has to be a way, whether it's a call or whatever it is, that can get you back the information that you need.
Thank you. Lose out.
Just a very, very quick question. Is there a rule that, SLT, when they can have SLT, like time-wise? Because I have one school set up from 4:30 p.m., which almost impossible for me to dial in, even remotely, let alone, in person. Another one, not every time, but many times they set up 6 a.m. I'm not kidding, 6 a.m. And I actually get on once at 6 a.m. and nobody else is there. So I mean, it's a ridiculous, set time if it's, not convenient for parents. But I just don't know if there's already rule for that. Apparently not. Otherwise they wouldn't say that way, right? But yeah, that's definitely an issue.
Kudos to Simone who joined the whole SLT
Barbara?
meeting at 7 a.m. last time.
Thank you, Lou. Did anyone have an answer for Lou about that? About Lou, honestly, I think the times that they have is the time that works for their SLT members. Like they usually set that time for their school community. Like they set up, they cannot like have that time. A lot of times it's in early in the morning or like after school. It's not like in the evening, like how we have 6:36 p.m. in the evening times. So I think what you have to do is figure out with your council members here, if it's a school that has a later one that works for you, and you want to talk to one of your council members, say, hey, can we think about switching, and maybe we can switch to you? But the times when they didn't, I don't think they're gonna change the time because of you. Right? You know what I'm saying? Or because
that's
of
for
me.
sure.
But
saying
a lot of times it is what it is,
Yeah. but it's probably not good for their parents either. I'm, you know, for the 431, I see most of people there are teachers and administrations. I don't remember seeing any, you know, parents there.
Yeah.
Yeah, for the 6
Thank
a.m. that was, you know, like nobody there. It was just.
I can offer a quick
Barbara?
response if you want to recognize VJ.
Sorry.
I said I can offer a response if you'd like to
Yeah, yeah.
recognize me.
Sure.
So Lou, typically CEC meetings are made to schedule parents, right? So at the convenience of the parents who are on this SLT, not the observers, right? So it's not scheduled for the educators. It's scheduled for the convenience of parents. However, it cannot be scheduled at a time where teachers are being paid. It's called double dipping. So they cannot be paid by their union, UFT, and then get the remuneration for SLT. So it either has to be before they start the clock or after they end their shift, because it's called double dipping, right? That's the reason for early or late, not during the school hours when they're teaching.
Makes sense. Barbara, thank you, BB.
And there can't be an SLT without parents either. And as the chair of the safety committee, I'm saying that everyone here should be going to their school safety meeting. You should find out from your school, your principal's parent coordinator, when is your school safety meeting, and we should be attending those every month also for
Barbara.
the safety of
Sorry.
our children. Thank you, VJ.
Thank you. Elena?
I do remember in the first term, VJ, and I guess you, me, and Barbara, maybe Ted remembers, we have recalibrated the assignments of the schools the second year. We did not do it this time around.
Well, we were in pandemic
reason for
mode,
that?
right? Remember? Yeah, we're in pandemic mode, right? Remember, it's just like things that start opening up, like in the last, when I say like fully opening up to the point where we are not going back to schools, and this is being lifted, that's being lifted. So that's why we didn't do that. But yes, we didn't recalibrate schools and rechange schools again after the first year. We did not for this council. We did not.
But what is
Well,
the
like-
standard usually? Do we have to do it for it's
No.
assignment for 2-year term, or it's up to the council, BB?
It's up to us if what we want to do. Like the last time we did it was because we said, hey, it'll be nice if we serve a school for 1 year. Let's change the school and learn of another school because learn the whole district kind of thing. But remember, no one could have done any of that stuff, right? This more or less this time. So it's only now we really have a chance to really go to our schools, and like principals are busy doing their own thing too. I mean, so yeah, Latifa and Ted. Okay, so can we also like make this like a certain time so we can stop, or because we're gonna go on all night. And so can we say 11 o'clock is the latest time? It's 10:45. Is that fair? I mean, it can be earlier, FYI. Simple. And Latifa, then Ted.
The SLT meetings are also they're also supposed to be in their bylaws. So just as we have it in ours, they're supposed to like vote and change it if they're doing it. So like for Lou or so forth, if you have a concern with the time, again, request like a copy of their bylaws. Like what does the time say in there?
Thank you. Ted?
I think what Elena mentioned about like rejiggering the liaison schools, a lot of that I think needs to be done in conjunction with knowing the actual meeting times, because there's some people who can't go to a 6 a.m. meeting, and there's some people who can't go to a 3 p.m. meeting. And instead of having liaisons but the problem is we don't know the schedule of the meetings. We literally, we have been kept in the dark for 3 whole years from District 28. I mean, it's just absurd. And they need to give us the schedule of every single SLT meeting in District 28, period. And there's just no excuse. There is no excuse for this. And they have it because Sonia gets invited to all the meetings, and yet we have not gotten the schedule. I mean, it's just this is just unacceptable. So if we have the schedule, then we could be like, hey, Elena, you take this meeting. Hey, Simone, you take this meeting. You know, we can work it out depending on whose schedule it works at and who's interested in
Or
which
at least we
schools.
have some kind of representation from the
But
CEC
we don't
here.
have, we're picking schools when we don't even know if we can make the meetings. I mean, it's just completely, it's so hard for us to do that. We need the schedule and then we pick the schools from that. Thank you.
Got it.
Um,
Latifa, your hand is still up. Once again, Barbara?
Yes. So to what Ted said, to defend on Sonia's side, I have been sitting because most schools go back in person. Most of the SLT they're doing they're not doing hybrid, they're doing SLT. And I've sit down, me and Sonia, waiting for Link to go into SLT meeting, which she was that she never got. So to defend on Sonia's side, is she doesn't get invited to all the meetings, because I have gotten schools that I didn't get the SLT invite, and I CC'd Sonia on an email, and she's trying to get in and they don't provide link because they're in person to the SLT meeting. So you know, she doesn't get invited to all the SLT meetings either. I know it's pathetic, Ted, but you know, just to defend Sonia, she's kind of sometimes in the same position that we're in. She's supposed to be invited, but sometimes they don't invite her either.
Okay, so we have a plan forward, right? So I think we understand what the issue is, and we need to we have a plan. The plan is to get a Excel spreadsheet where, again, we have this a live thing. I think it's best when we have a live thing where we could monitor and see who is coming back, because I feel like, and where council members can go in and check themselves, so that with Dorinda, you don't have to keep saying, here it is, here it is, here it is. You have a link to it. There it is. Look at it. And then we can all chime in and figure out how to get it done. Dorinda, let's talk this week. Today's what, Thursday, tomorrow, Friday? Let's talk tomorrow at some point in time. And then we'll have a plan forward how to get this done in collaboration with the district office and the school principals. Okay, we will. And council members, task number 1 before the new year, get all these dates. I don't know how true that's going to be, but we'll try our best. Latika, was your hand still up, but I was on previously?
It was kind of still up. I'm just really urging us to take ownership, because I mean, remember, the schools are going through the same thing we're doing with the open meetings law, that you only know sometimes like days before whether or not you can have your meeting. So a lot of SLTs or so forth that were virtual had started going back in person. Like my school SLT decided we're just going to stay in person and not worry about what's happening. So a lot of these times change. But I'm saying Sonia is one person, and Sonia gets pulled into 1,000,001 different things. Okay, there are 40 schools in the district. Each person, I think on this on this CC right now, I have the most schools. I have 5 schools. Okay, if each person reaches out to these 3 schools or 4 schools or 5 schools that they have and get those dates, maybe just one reminder email from the district to remind them that they are supposed to provide those dates. But I don't think we have to, you know, oh, the district needs to get us this and that. The district is going through and doing so much. We can do this. We can reach out and have that relationship, so they'll actually tell you. Like, I get the emails if my school for some emergency had to change their meeting. They've had it at 3 something or 4 something, and that date was 7. Okay, it's a lot easier for us to be on top of our schools that way than for the district trying to manage 40 of them with us. Yes, there's a bigger team, but it's also diversified what they're doing. Let's just take ownership.
Thank you. So let's try this, right? Let's how we try this. We create the shared drive, right? That we could all go in there and add stuff, etc., etc., etc. We can also send out the list of the liaisons, the school liaison list that was sent out previously again. But again, we're gonna help out here. Send out that list. Hey, council members, here's your list of schools. Here your liaisons too. And let's have one. Let's all do like I was saying. I think it's a great idea. If we divide it up, we already have our schools already, and then we call our school and say, "Hey, when is your SLT? I'm the CEC liaison for your school, and I'd like to know when is your SLT meetings." And then you come back to the list and you add a list. How does that sound? Okay, let's try the other way. Does anyone is anyone not in agreement with that?
That's fine.
Okay, so I'll take your silence as a means yes, right? So then, Dorinda, let's do that first one. We have that list of people who are, I mean, it's on the website too. It's clearly on the website where you could go and see which school your liaison to. So let's just, again, take ownership again, right? Go to the website and look at the under this your schools and you see your name there. Dorinda, isn't it there on the website? It is. I remember that was worked on.
Yes, it is. Elena shared it with everyone earlier, actually, on the
On the, yeah, she did. But again, let's take ownership of our roles. As Barbara says, maybe we don't hold on his hands, right? Let's call our schools, get your dates. I think that is a brilliant idea, Latif. I think we should take on the ownership here. Fair enough. And if
And I just
I'm
want
sorry, Ted, 1 second.
Sorry,
And if you are not able to be successful by calling, then let us know. And then we can maybe take a next step and go further. Is that fair? Through email. Ted.
Well, I just want to mention that one of the reasons why, it's like we don't know what to do is because we were specifically instructed by Sonia and Face to not do this on our own, that we're required to go through the AA and we're required to go through Sonia. So they told us we have to do it this way, and then they don't give us the information. So they're putting us in this position where we can't there's no solution for us other than just sort of leaving us hanging. So, what is that? Where's the actual solution here? And I just, I'm happy to do whatever needs to be done, but like, you can't tell us to not contact the schools and then tell us that, it's just like we're getting so many mixed messages from Face and
I feel
district
like in
and
the
everything.
beginning, when the school had now started, Sonia did say that because they were now settling in, she was going to compile a list and send it to us. And that was initially. So at this point, go for it. At this point, go for it. Go ahead, make contact. If you can't get in contact, send an email to us. Let us know. Okay, it's 10:54 p.m. Great. The meeting now is adjourned. Everyone, good night. Have a great evening.
Good night.
Happy holidays, and thank you all for being an amazing team. We
No,
did a lot
no
this
new
year.
business